Interior day. Interior day. Not super easy to light. I teased how to get into GSB for free. Teased it. So this is me not teasing it by putting in duck, which is, yeah, my cute little duck, Diggy the duck, getting along well with y'all. Deep duck, deep underground credit knowledge, deep underground credit knowledge. This is how to get into Stanford GSB for free. Pay attention or use this for your safety college. It doesn't matter. You want to study, you want to ask yourself, why am I wanting to go to business school? A lot of people don't know. They'll just be like, oh, for the networking. Okay, great. What 3 classes do you want to take and master at business school? What are going to be your 3 favorite classes? What 3 classes look the best? Most people at this point have no clue. And here's the answer, if you want to be rich. New business ventures and the entrepreneur. Done. You don't even have to be an entrepreneur. You can be an intrapreneur at a big company. But you're going to need to take this class before you apply. So this is the API of getting into Stanford or any school, like Vanderbilt, your safety school. Or Vanderbilt because Stanford's kicking you out because you can't continue to play baseball at the same school. So you're gonna need to go to like another school to play baseball. Vanderbilt, that's like a pretty good program. I mean, you could go to Harvard, but then you'd be like really just settling because is the academic any good? Is the baseball any good? No. So Vanderbilt. So before you ace Vanderbilt, you're gonna need to ask yourself the question. What was the question I asked? This is not one of those videos where I edit together and have no pauses. This is one of those videos where you're actually gonna need to rewatch, rethink. So what are the 3 things that I'm asking you? This is how to ace Vagina 2. Because if you remember what I said, now you can expand on it prior. Because prior I said, what are the 3 classes that you want to take? This is also how I would close Vagina if I were a 5'3" male that isn't at 6 figures. Like, you can just win like this. What are the 3, by listening, expanding, and having an effective brain where you're neuro-linguistically programming, put a pin in that. So, what 3 classes do you want to take? What 3 classes do you want to take that aren't woke DEI, hey, let me in because there's not enough 6'5" Chinese guys who play baseball who are tall. Yeah, we're not going to DEI it. We're going to just win by the arbitrage. Oh, which is what that is being able to pay less than $5 for a textbook and then parlaying that into $250,000. Or Vanderbilt, $280,000 for less value. Yeah. One of the classes should be Search Fund. It's a class where you raise a $10 to $15 million fund and then you buy a business for $9 to $12 million. Backing up a little bit, you're taking a pot of money and you're going to go buy a business. Now you're going to improve that business before you sell it for $25 to $70 million. This is what everybody wants to do because it turns out all of business is new business ventures and doing entrepreneurial shit. Did I just edit Irv Grossbeck's book? A little bit, but before we get into innovations, you know what? Let's just jump right into innovations. It turns out you can skip the step of raising the fund. Boom! You don't even have to raise the fund. You don't even have to buy the business. You just need to make the business slightly better, and you benefit by negotiating a percentage of the capital improvements. So the business model is you don't necessarily buy the business, you make it better, and then you get paid a percentage of the gain. Let's use the example of a hotel. A lot of people who are rich, they want to own a hotel just like lesser rich people want to own a nightclub. Oh, if I only owned a nightclub, everybody would want to sleep with me. Yeah, sort of, not really. So, hotel. You don't have to own the hotel. You can just rent out your rental. You don't have to own the hotel. You can just boost the hotel per night stays by running a better dashboard that buys leads and then sells hotel rooms. You can rent out your rental. So every hotel is going to have a dead space or a bad space. So you're just turning around the bad meeting room. You're turning around the restaurant. You're turning around some not hellhole. You're turning around something that's currently not perfect. Example, the Epiphany Hotel. They had a restaurant. It was called Fork and Thistle, and so the Fork and Thistle was a property that was a restaurant that was kind of hard to say, and nobody really knew what a thistle was. So then Nobu was the temporary pop-up, and then the pop-up became Epiphany Hotel. That's how to Stram GT353 Epiphany Hotel into being the co-founder of Nobu. And so what you're doing is you're taking Irv Grossbeck's genius class and you're connecting that great class, which is Stram GT353. You're connecting up Stram GT353 with the Confucius Vagina Whisperer Truth, which is this: it does not take money to make money. Vagina Whisperer, Confucius. Every genius person thinks and knows you don't need money to make money. Vagina Whisperer, you don't need to pay for dates to close dates. You don't first raise a giant fund, go buy that business. Like, there's too many steps. Now, granted, you have to understand all the steps, which is why you need to take this search fund class before you go to business school. Hotel is an example. Nobu is an example. Another example is Duck9. You don't have to buy my company for $600 to $900 million. You don't, okay? In fact, I probably won't even sell it to you. What I will do is I will open source how to go from a FICO of 0 to a FICO over 750. And now you can make some single digit number of thousands of dollars over a weekend. You can make almost 8 figures if you were to run Duck9. Yeah, it may not scale to $1 billion, but you know what? You don't even know how much money $1 million is. And you're so emotionally downtrodden that I'm just giving you Duck9 open sourced. In fact, I have a presentation called How to Do What Duck9 Does Without Having to Pay Larry Chang at Duck9. You don't need money to make money. And so the innovation of arbitrage is this. You can just arbitrage API calls. Let's go back to the hotel example. So you don't have to buy Epiphany Hotel to make it better. You can buy and sell meeting room space. you can buy and sell hotel rooms. Let me give you another hotel example, which if you don't do this, you're going to lose 500 bucks. So maybe you don't want to grab a pen because you don't think I'm literally going to transfer you $500. Here you go. I'm going to talk pretty fast, so pen to paper. The Super Bowl is February 8th, 2025. Boom! Done! Guess what? Most people aren't going to book their hotel room until their NFC and AFC team has been confirmed to go to the Super Bowl. So this is how you make money, is if the Super Bowl were in Atlanta, you would book the Four Seasons in Atlanta. After New Orleans, the Super Bowl is going to be in Santa Clara. So who books hotel rooms that far in advance? You do, because you're a winner. And so currently the Las Vegas hotel room, when I booked it before the Las Vegas Super Bowl, when I was in Miami for a Super Bowl, I paid maybe 150 bucks for Cosmopolitan Hotel. It's like a top 50 hotel in Las Vegas. And guess what? When the 49ers played the Chiefs again, guess who had housing? This guy who owns this duck in the owl in the book. So that's how to make 500 bucks, because you book 3 rooms. You don't have to pay for any of the rooms until you actually show up, and congratulations, you just made $500 off this video that was all about newbie steps in how do I get into Stanford GSB. Here's the kicker. Stanford actually needs you, the future billionaire, way more than future billionaires need Stanford or Vanderbilt University. I get the two not necessarily mixed up, but that's what Vanderbilt definitely needs, is they need people who know about Stanford stuff to increase their arbitrage. What is their arbitrage? They're charging you almost $300,000 to try to find a couple of famous alumni. Let me repeat what their arbitrage is. They're trying to figure out who the awesome and rich people are, while also kind of being woke. So they're like, oh, we need a BDEI, not BBE space DEI. We need a B-DEI, which is Bitcoin, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We need a BDEI because guess what? When you say the name Satoshi Nakamoto, I envision a white dude pretending to be an Asian dude, pretending to be diverse. That's what we're doing right now, is we are having to win the game on hard mode. If you're a Caucasian male, guess what? Nobody loves us right now. And they blame the patriarchy for the fact that people can't read. Library cards, last time I checked, library cards are free. Reading books at the library, that's free too. Being able to ace Vanderbilt before you go to Vanderbilt corporate valuation, MGT 6443. Vanderbilt, MGT 6531. PE leverage buyouts. To repeat, MGT 6531. Vanderbilt, Financial Data Analytics, MGT 6534. So you could take all these classes before you go to class, because last time I checked, those Vanderbilt classes, they look like somebody wrote up the agenda in the 90s. Guess where the information is? It's on Chad and Steve's website. So I would study and ace that stuff before enrolling and winning in business school. So this is how to get recruited to business school prior to winning at business school, is by pre-reading Irv Grousbeck's book. Does that help? It does, right? In fact, if it doesn't help, punch yourself in the balls.